We're constantly searching for the edge, the best study method, the ideal book, the best productivity app. But we tend to forget that the single most powerful tool we have is something that we already do every night. As students, we're conditioned to believe that the lack of sleep is a badge of honor. We treat sleep like it's a negotiable item in our to-do list, often sacrificing it for finishing a task or studying for an exam. Let me tell you that this mindset is fundamentally flawed. By this, we're just sabotaging our true potential. Good morning, everyone. My name is Eduardo Moncayo, and today I'm here to convince you that sleep is not a luxury. It's indeed the key to achieve academic success, health, and most importantly, happiness. First, let me talk to you about the direct effects it has on in our academic performance. First of all, when our body detects that it is sleeping, it starts this process called consolidation of memories. Here, basically, the brain gathers the new information we learned during the day and stores in a long-term memory. By staying up to midnight trying to understand a topic or reading a book, we're just interrupting this process. Let me confirm you that the whole main part of this information, you won't maintain it. Moreover, if we decide to stay up to date, it would be harder to us to focus during classes or during an exam. We will get more easily distracted, so our ability to concentrate decreases. And finally, by sleeping well, we support our good judgment decision and our ability to solve problems. Recently, a Harvard study demonstrated that sleeping on a problem sometimes drives us towards the solution we're looking for. Now, let's move on into the effects it has on our physical well. When the body is sleeping, it basically repairs itself. It releases any negative or growth hormone we have in our body, and this supports our immune system. We are basically helping our health. By sleeping well, we are less likely to get sick. Furthermore, if you don't sleep well, you are more easy to get irritable, anxious, and suffer for the physical and psychological effects of stress. It's like a vicious cycle. If you don't sleep well, you get stressed, and if you don't get stressed, you don't sleep well. If you decide to prioritize your rest, you will be able to regulate your emotions more easily. And last but not least, the consequences of sleep deprivation can be pretty serious. An Oxford study has demonstrated that being awake for more than 18 hours can have the same effect as having a huge percentage of alcohol in your blood. So this affects our reaction time and increases potentially the risk of any accident. Now let's take a pause to talk to you about a personal experience on this topic. Around half a year ago, I started my admissions process here on Tech. And as you may know, it requires to do an admission exam, the PA. For me, this was the most important exam of my life. You may ask why. Well, this was the first impression for any organization or foundation that could give me the scholarship I needed to study here. So I took it pretty seriously. I studied a lot, but by a lot, I mean a lot. I searched up for videos, exercises. I even read the book of the rules of the PA. I wanted to be ready, and I sure was. But you could guess what happened the night before the exam. I couldn't sleep. I was so nervous about this feeling that horrified me to the point that I couldn't get some good hours of rest. So when I arrived here at Tech and I started the exam, it was a pretty awful experience doing all these exercises and lectures, and as you may know. So I don't recommend you this type of situations. Specifically during math section, let's say for question 20, I didn't comprehend at all what they were asking me for, so I decided to skip it. I finished the test on time, so I decided to go back to this question to see if I had new thoughts on it. and I sure had. It was more easy this time. But when I tried to answer it on the answer sheet, I noticed that I didn't skip the question on the answer sheet. So the whole exam was wrong. This mistake was made because I wasn't putting full attention. And this was because I didn't sleep well. So these kind of mistakes are very common when we don't have good rest hours. Fortunately, I got a good result on the exam. But for the second attempt, I decided to do an experiment. I didn't practice at all. I didn't study, I just went there with the knowledge I already had from previous experiences. So let me tell you that I got a better result. And by this, I'm not telling you that you shouldn't study for the exams we have the upcoming next week, on week 5. I'm telling you that you should prioritize preparing yourself on time and also prioritizing your sleep for the nights of the exams. It is easier to answer these questions by putting full attention to it instead of falling asleep during it. So, to sum up this conversation, as students, we should prioritize our sleeping. It is a critical factor when we want to achieve academic success and develop our memory, focus, and problem-solving abilities. I recommend you to not treat sleep as a surrender to tiredness, but more like a daily part of your study schedule. Commit tonight to give your brain the rest it needs. Set up a good, consistent bedtime and keep away any distractor that could distract you from your sleep. And the money, the time, and effort you're investing on your education, also put it in your sleep. Thank you everyone, and have a good dream tonight.